Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about 3 different pitfalls that may occur when playing Whispering Reeds by William H. Hill. The first thing we're going to talk about is accents, then about playing softly, and then lastly what to do about that crackling sound. One of the things that you'll notice in this piece is that there are a lot of accents. In fact, almost on every downbeat there's a nice solid accent. And although that's a really cool thing to play, sometimes it can come across as too strong on the bassoon and we might end up getting cracks or we might go out of tune. So I'm going to give an example of a bad accent and then a good example. So for those, I was over-exaggerating those accents, and what ended up happening was the tone quality got a little nasty, as well as the intonation went out. So instead, when you're accenting, don't just use your tongue on the reed to do all of the work. That's where the problems occur. Instead, use a combination of tongue and airstream. So I'm going to play this again, and I'm not going to actually accent with my tongue, I'm just going to use my airstream. So listen to how this sounds. You could hear it in the second half particularly, where the accent was there and I wasn't even tonguing the note. So you can use your air to actually provide accented support. So I'd say half and half. You still have to tongue the note, but use your air to help you. So instead of becoming too punchy, it just comes out cleanly. The second thing is dynamics at letter C. We've been playing at forte and then suddenly we go piano. And a lot of us will automatically drop down so quietly that we can barely get the note to speak. And what ends up happening is we're going higher in the tessitura, in our range. We end up going to high E flat. And if our notes are so soft, they'll go really flat. And it won't sound very solid. So even though we're playing a quiet dynamic, you want to use your air. Here's an example of me not using my air. I'm going to play a few measures before C. It was quieter, but the tone quality kind of got a little sad. So instead, you want to use a nice strong airstream the entire time, but just use your embouchure to mute the sound a little bit so you're not so loud. In fact, I increase my airstream as I go higher up to make sure I don't go flat. Entire time my stomach is really pushing to make sure the airstream is constant. And then the last thing I want to talk about is not actually about the piece itself, but just a little thing that bassoon happens. When you're listening to this, you probably heard halfway through about a weird little crack or crickle that happened. And I left that in there because I wanted to show you something. If you ever hear a little sound, that usually means that the bassoon is gurgling. We've got water somewhere that we need to blow out. And there are 2 main places where this could happen. The first is in your vocal. There's water stuck in here and it's making a clicking sound. If we don't remove this, it will constantly keep clicking and it'll become very annoying. So the way to remove it is to pull your vocal out, flip it upside down, and blow it out backwards. Make sure you put it down towards the ground so you don't spray any nearby friends. And then the second place that it could occur is in some of these tone holes here. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to want to flip it over, grasp it. That way we're blowing out the gunk in the tone holes. Now, sometimes people say just to blow the vocal water through, so you just go to get the vocal. Well, the only problem with that is now you're blowing the water down into your instrument, and then it might get stuck in the second area. So you might end up clearing out the vocal, but not the tone holes. So make sure to actually take the vocal out and flip it upside down. Alright, so today we discussed accents, making sure to use a combination of air and tongue, not too much tongue, as well as softer dynamics. Again, the air is really important here. If we don't play with a solid air stream, a lot of the sound will get really soft, but it would get really flat and not sound so good. Alright, good luck practicing whispering reeds.